Hello and welcome back to the OH-6A. Other modules are currently getting enough attention, so I would like to talk about the new version 1.2 for the little birds first. With the new version 1.2, the main problem in version 1.1, namely the excessive torque reaction to changes to the collective in particular, has been almost completely eliminated. Also in this video, it is not about the flight model and all the things that still need some care. The main focus is on the flight behavior, controllability and the fun of flying the egg. Let's start with the axis settings. After a few short tests, I have made significant changes here that suit my system best and give me the most possible feeling of actual flying a 500. I removed the restriction of both axes of the cyclic and added a slight curve to slightly damp the reaction from the center. On the pedals, which I'm still struggling with slightly, all changes have been reset to that both instant response and full power are available. All saturations on the collective were also reset to 100 and a strong curve with a value of 20 was added instead. This ensures that the collective is somewhat softer and more precise to handle in the area of takeoff and normal maneuvers. As I said, this does not necessarily apply to you, but just try it out and then make the necessary adjustments. Okay, and welcome back in the OH-6A version 1.2. Don't waste too much time. So I would like to bring the aircraft in a nice and stable hover. And then we try to conduct a flight along the Sunset Strip, doing some close maneuvers to the buildings. Just checking out how easy or how hard to control the aircraft is now after the significant changes made. So raise collective, a little bit left cyclic pressure, left pedal, pick up into hover. It always looks a little bit wobbly from the inside, it doesn't look that wobbly from the outside. For some spectators it's mostly a pretty nice controlled hover. From the inside it often looks bad, so don't worry, the aircraft is wobbling a little bit. When you try to hover it, it doesn't look worse from the outside. So let's try to do some pedal maneuvers, check the controllability and the function of the tail rotor. Oops. Okay. So I still overdo a little bit on the pedals. And now we take off. Low level along the taxiway here, passing the aircraft. And then we do a hard turn to the right, flying towards the strip. And then following the main road. Not too fast and as low as possible. So the aircraft was and still is easy to control if you are flying fast and high. So, but the important point and the more interesting one is how is the aircraft, its controllability in the helicopter section, which is below 100 feet and below 50 knots. We're about 50 knots now, approaching 40 knots. Avoiding the obstacles, raise collective a little bit. It reacts nice on the collective and pretty well to the cycling inputs. In the actual aircraft, you need to work a lot with the force trim on the cycling stick, so most corrections or flight path will be done only by using the trim. Here I do not have a force feedback flight stick, so it doesn't make sense. And I do not use the trim that much. So the only reason for using the trim is to magnify the offset between my controls and the actual flight path. So when I fly just straight ahead over the parking area, so my cycling is a little bit set to the left, so I adjust the trim a little bit to match that. It feels a little bit more natural because I have the stick now in the center position. I do not have springs, so there is no center position attached by springs. It's just a feeling. So it is always a feeling if we talk about flight model. So it's a personal opinion when we talk about flight model, which we do not now in this video. I will do another video to talk about more in detail about the flight model, but this video is only about the controllability, and as you can see, the aircraft is really nice and easy to fly. If we do not overdo and the pilot behaves like a normal pilot and not like a maniac, every maneuvers are planned in advance and conducted controlled. Okay, here are the fountains in Vegas. They still do not work, so I really hope they will fix that and be a great view if the fountains are working. Not quite sure how easy it is to implement that into DCS, how many frames per second it costs if the fountains are working here. So let's try some close maneuver here. It's actually quite a while ago that I flew the 500 in real life. It's more than 20 years now. So as I said, it's more a feeling, and most of the time it feels pretty good. And even these controlled maneuvers circling around here, the inner fountain ring, are easy to conduct. There is not much difference two other official models here in the normal under normal flight conditions. So with the update to version 1.2, it feels really natural, really good. So I appreciate the changes. So the developer has done a great job. Of course, there are still some fine-tuning stuff to do, but for community mod, if it comes to workload and if it comes to the quality of the flight model and of course the speed the developer is reacting to the opinions of pilots within DCS, the opinions of real-life pilots, that's really astonishing and great. Makes a lot of fun. So I really invite everybody to try the OH-6 in DCS. It's a lot of fun and really nice to fly. As I said, as long as you do it in a normal controlled manner and do not overdo your control input, flying like a maniac, pretty crazy guy, which is actually not the way you do it in real life. Everything is nice and smooth. So we can end the video here. I really recommend to fly the model, to test it, to use it. It is a lot of fun, especially with the adaptions of 8 balls, NAM, skins and buildings and all that kind of stuff around, which makes it possible to build some really nice immersive missions. Thank you very much for joining. I will stop the flight here, land the aircraft on the rooftop here of the hotel. So we do a nice and slow approach. I'm still pretty much relaxed, no sweating at all, which is a really, really good sign. Thank you very much for joining. See you next time. Bye bye.